2nd of October and Monday the 5th of October, South Australia Police ran Operation Safe Long Weekend. That was a statewide operation and that focused on the 5 biggest contributors to serious injury, crashes and lives lost on our roads. It was drink and drug driving, seatbelts, speeding, distraction and dangerous road users. During that period of time we alco tested 5,412 people and we detected 41 positive to alcohol. We detected 616 people exceeding the posted speed limit. We tested 631 people for drugs and found 44 people to be positive. We also incredibly found 40 people and expiated them for not wearing seatbelts, and we expiated 30 people for distraction. Tragically, at about 5 p.m. yesterday at Petwood, a 19-year-old Mount Barker man lost his life after coming off his motorbike and colliding with a tree.
In comparison, I guess, to last year, how do you find these results? Like, is it concerning to see, or are you overall pleased with it?
I'd like to thank the people that used the South Australian Road Network during the long weekend and did the right thing, because predominantly that's what's happened. It's very concerning though that people still continue to make poor choices. I mean, driving in a vehicle with a fitted seatbelt and choosing not to wear it is just incredible to me, because seatbelt saves lives. It's as simple as that. And those 40 people have made a conscious decision to not put on an apparatus that's in that vehicle that could save their lives. So again, to the majority that did the right thing, thank you. To the people who did selfish things, such as drink and drug drive, speed, you need to be more responsible and you need to be more considerate for other road users.
Was it frustrating to get so close to a long weekend without a fatality?
It's always frustrating when somebody loses their life on our road, particularly a 19-year-old male who had many years in front of him. And as I've said many times, it's very easy to talk about numbers, and that's why we've deliberately moved away from fatalities and gone to the terminology lives are lost, because it's not a number when it happens to you, and the consequences, and I've seen it for many years firsthand, for families, for work colleagues, for communities, is terrible. And I wouldn't like to see anybody have to go through that.
Well, can you elaborate a bit more on the circumstances surrounding the crash? It looked like a pretty horrific sort of sequence of events.
Looks like the motorcycles left the dirt road out of control and he's hit a tree.
Does it look like speed might have been a factor?
It may be a factor. It's under investigation at the moment.
Was he an L-plater?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. And what does that say about the system, do you think, given that, you know, people who have just come out or just got their permits, so it should be, you know, the most knowledgeable about rules and road safety and how to operate machinery like that safely, is the message getting through, particularly the young riders?
What we find with motorcycle riders is generally people do the right thing, but there is a strong association between motorcycle fatalities and speed, and also drug and alcohol use. In terms of the structure and the learners' permits, etc., it's not about that, it's about the way that people behave when they get on that motorbike and how they ride it.
And I think 25%, correct me if I'm wrong, but 25% of the fatalities on SA roads this year have been motorcyclists. That's got, you know, the Motorcycle Riders Association fairly concerned. Is that number way too high from your perspective as well, that percentage?
Look, 15 people have lost their lives riding motorcycles and 2 passengers have lost their lives. Concerning to me is that the 15 that have lost their lives on our roads are all males, and males we know are overrepresented in road fatalities, but particularly with motorcycle accidents and serious injury crashes. And a lot of it comes because males make bad decisions and take on risk-taking behaviour. And you're a vulnerable road user riding a motorbike, the consequences if you come off that motorbike are amplified significantly.
What would you say to young riders, particularly those young males that might be watching tonight, similarly to how that fellow yesterday might have been watching on Sunday night? What do you say to them? What
I say to them is please be responsible. Think about not only yourself, but think about your loved ones and the people that you can leave behind, and think about the impact that it will have on them if unfortunately you make a poor choice and as a result of that choice you lose your life.
Have you been shocked by the prevalence of motorcycle riders in these statistics?
No, not really. It's something that we pretty much see around the 5-year data. If we have a look at it, we're sort of, unfortunately, there's between about 10 and 17 people that will lose their lives during those 5 years of analysis. So, I mean, it's disappointing, but again, it's a strong association with risk-taking behaviour.
Given that there was also, you know, the 41 drivers, drink drivers, and then 44 drug drivers, are you surprised that there weren't more serious crashes or more fatalities over the weekend itself?
Look, I'm pleased. As I said, the majority of people that used our roads over the weekend would have done the right thing, and again, I thank them for that. But it's very concerning when people make irresponsible decisions that put innocent road users at jeopardy, and there's no excuse for that.
We also saw over the weekend sort of a number of those that were inattentive as well, one even falling asleep behind the wheel, we understand. What do you say to that?
I say there's no reason to do that. Distraction over the last 5 years is the biggest killer on our roads. Currently this year we attribute 30 lives lost to distraction, and it's avoidable. So don't be distracted. Don't use anything in your car that may distract you. That's not necessarily confined to mobile phones. It can be any social media device. It can be the air conditioner. It can be the radio. If you're tired, take a break. There is no excuse to lose your life on our roads because you've become distracted.
And just on another matter, a man's gotten off on a red light camera fine this afternoon in court on appeal. It turns out it wasn't tested with the people going through red light cameras, so it wasn't working properly. Do you have anything to say to people who now may not be facing prosecution because these cameras could be found to be faulty?
Now, what I can say to you in terms of that matter is the SAPOL reviewing the Supreme Court decision, and we'll make further commentary on that at a later time.
Any plans to do maintenance to the cameras around Adelaide?
I'm not going to make any other comment other than we're reviewing the Supreme Court's decision.
Does it potentially put some form of thousands of fines in doubt though?
I'm not going to make any other comment except that we're reviewing the Supreme Court's decision.
Do you have any details on the Marla crash this morning?
I'm aware that there was a serious collision about 19 kilometres north of Marla on the Stewart Highway. 2 people have been injured as a result of that collision, and my investigators are on the scene.
Was it a single vehicle crash? Do we know the
It's a single vehicle rollover, yes.
Right. And how would you describe that behaviour of, such as someone falling asleep at the wheel? How reckless is it to get behind the wheel knowing full well the messaging around don't drive tired? We hear it time and time again.
Well, I don't know the circumstances of the Marla crash. I haven't been briefed on it at this point in time. But
not that one, just in general, the other ones we've seen of...
Again, what people need to understand is you don't need to die or be seriously injured on South Australian roads, or any roads for that fact. If you're feeling tired, it's simple. Stop, get out, have a break. If you've got another licensed driver in the car and you want to hand over, hand over. It's better to get to your destination a little bit later than you'd hoped, rather than not getting there at all. So again, there is no excuse for losing your life because you have become fatigued and distracted.
SAPOL launched a new road safety campaign just before the long weekend. So how disappointing is it to see some people, still flouting the rules and doing all these reckless things?
It's always disappointing when people do the wrong thing on our roads because, as I've said time and time again, there is no reason that you need to lose your life or be seriously injured on South Australian roads. But this isn't something that SAPOL can magically fix. The community needs to buy into this. This is a whole of state solution and everybody has to do their part.
Obviously this was the first sort of as part of a month-long operation as well, and we've got a number more coming up. Is there any more that we can be alerted about by way of police operations that you'll be targeting?
What we will be doing most definitely is we'll be doing something when children return to school.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right.